from? Save More from? NPRC! NPRC! Meiteis Lipun! Meiteis Lipun! Rampai Tenggol! Meiteis Lipun! NPRC! Sana Zauba! Sana Zauba! Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Biak. Volunteers, please make sure that he gets some drinking water immediately. A lot of you have been asking where the donation boxes are. So they are towards my right, towards the right of the stage. You can find them here. So anybody who wishes to donate, whether in kind or in cash, they can just come up here and give their donation. Now we would like to call upon Dr. Maya John, who is a women's rights activist. Dr. Maya, we welcome you. Yay!
Please allow me to begin what I would like to share with all of you. First with a slogan that many people's movements, that many struggles have often echoed. I will say, the people united, and please follow it by saying, shall always be victorious. The people united! The people united! Friends, I have heard carefully the many speakers, the many experience sharing session before. What I would like to start with and what I would like to place before you as a concerned citizen of this country, as an ally, as a person who's come in solidarity with your movement and against the struggle against the humanitarian crisis in Manipur for so many months. Please allow me to share with you certain observations, not only as an activist, but also as a historian who has been researching and writing on the Northeast. Of course, all of us know that the experiences that have been shared with us, that we ourselves have survived and lived through, are experiences of tremendous amount of torture, of people being maimed, of molestation, of rapes, all of which are horrendous experiences which are linked to, literally speaking, an accident of birth. People just happen to be born in certain communities and becoming a target of such brutality. Friends, the speakers before me have highlighted some very important aspects of this entire crisis. Please allow me to emphasize an aspect which I think, a dimension which I think you are all aware of, but perhaps is not in the mainstream, is not that prominent in our discussions, in our deliberations. What is this perspective? What is this dimension? Speaking as a historian, speaking as a researcher on this area, the Northeast, it is a fact historically speaking, that there is a difference in the way in which state institutions, the way in which society has evolved in the hill areas of the Northeast, including Manipur, and in the valley, such as in the Imphal Valley. And what has happened is that these differences in the institutions have increasingly been ethnicized, and ethnicized by the Indian state, protecting certain kinds of interests. Friends, let us look at our hill areas from which many of you belong. What is the reality? Currently, this conflict has seen this one claim keep coming up, keep emerging, which is that, Meitei people, they will get access to the land of the hills. The reality, my friends, is that what are those hill areas? What are those hill districts actually like? Historically speaking, we have seen those districts in Manipur see a lag in development. Be this in terms of basic facilities like schools, universities, hospitals, roads, infrastructure. Be it even in terms of the productivity of the land. It is very difficult, given the terrain in the hill areas, to make the land continuously available for cultivation. These difficult tracts of land, with not that many roads, with not that many schools, with not that many universities, with not that many public funded hospitals, is that actually what the ordinary common Meitei wants to make his homeland or a new space to live? I think the picture is more complex. Especially when we look at the fact that the most common average Meitei are small marginal peasants, like many of our own brethren in the hill communities. Will these Meiteis with small strips of land in the valley actually have access? Will actually have access to the resources to buy lands in the hills? No, they will not. And neither are the hills areas of great productivity. What the hills really are, the hill districts, are areas rich in natural resource. They are rich in natural resources like semi-precious metals, mines, timber. And whose interest is it actually in gaining access to those areas? It's the corporate interests. It's the corporate power that wants access to forest goods, that wants access to the natural resources in these areas of Manipur, in the hill districts. Quickly, my friends, I'm a teacher, so this allow me some time to elaborate certain things that you're somewhere aware of. What I want to point out is that several state governments of Manipur, several central governments of this country have worked consciously towards allowing private big companies, and including foreign companies, corporate powers, to gain a foothold in precisely these resource-rich areas of Manipur and continuously fuel a crisis and antagonism between common, impoverished sections of the Meitei community and the hill community, and ethnicizing the conflict continuously. Look at the amendments of various laws in India, the forest laws, which make it easier for big corporate powers to gain access to our forests without any cost and impact assessment. Look at the way in which big dams, energy units, electricity units are being developed. Who benefits from this? Who gets a share of that development? We all know the real story. Let's look at an example. The Loktak Lake, 40 kilometers from Imphal city. To common Meitei people, who often don't earn enough, they often have same salary or same source of income as many of us here. Are they able to afford even one night stay in Loktak Lake Resort? What happened some time back to Loktak Lake? The traditional fishing community was displaced from there. Their huts, their livelihoods, their dependence on the lake was destroyed. Who gains? Who gains? It's a very select section of the Meitei community. It's big corporate powers that gain. And not us, not the average. The common Meitei people are simply made the face of corporate design, backed by the Indian government and also the state government. Colleagues, dear friends, what I would like to say is, in this context, it becomes our duty to convince everyone, to convince more and more people that this is not actually a conflict between the common Meitei masses and between the common hill communities. I would like to end with saying that we need to build a much stronger struggle, a united struggle. One struggle that, of course, brings forward the demand of decentralization, a demand that actually gives power to the people. This is a traditional structure. People used to self-govern themselves, and hence those structures need to be reinserted. We need more democracy, we need more decentralization. So many of your demands are very crucial demands. And they would sync with all struggling people throughout India who want a share in decision making, who want a share in deciding how policies will be made that will affect their lives. Let us build that type of democracy. Let us build power that is actually giving decision-making power to ordinary people. Let us decolonize what democracy really means in India. And let us, my friends, build a joint struggle. A joint struggle of the whole community where Meiteis, where Cookies, where all hill communities live their life in solidarity and can actually build a future, a common future that will be the only way in which we will achieve lasting peace. Please echo this slogan with me. I will say lasting peace. You will say the solution is the road to justice. Lasting peace requires... Thank you.
Thank you, sister. My apology because we are out of time. We have to cut short the momentum. But thank you. In the future, we'll get in touch for all the coming up rallies also. Now, going over to our next program. Do you know how many looted